Years ago, there was a Japanese girl who was very vain and spent all her time staring at her reflection in a mirror. It had been given to her as a present by her mother, and the girl cherished it more than anything. It was her most prized possession. The girl was desperate to be beautiful and developed anorexia, starving herself to the point where she was painfully thin. As time went on, her health became worse and worse. But no matter how pale and gaunt she looked, when she gazed into her mirror, she saw herself as beautiful. One day, she wanted to decorate her mirror, so she painted it purple. When she looked into the glass, she was disgusted. She no longer saw herself as beautiful. She saw what she really looked like, a pale, thin, and haggard mess with bones protruding from her leathery skin. Horrified, she smashed the mirror to pieces, but afterwards she regretted what she had done. On her 20th birthday, the girl was in the middle of making preparations for her coming-of-age party when she was hit by a car and killed. As she died, the last words on her lips were, "Purple mirror, purple mirror, purple mirror." After the funeral, when her parents searched the room, they couldn't find the purple mirror. Rumors about the girl spread around Japan. After her funeral, some young people were found dead under mysterious circumstances. All of them died on their 20th birthday, and no cause of death was ever found. But in each case, shards of purple glass were found in their bedrooms. Ever since that day, the words "purple mirror" have been cursed, and it is believed that anyone who still remembers the phrase by their 20th birthday will die. Note, it is very important that you forget you ever heard the words "purple mirror." Just try to get the whole concept of a purple mirror out of your head. Whatever you do, please, get those words out of your brain. Your life depends on it. There is a popular Japanese story. It is about a poem called Tomino's Hell. They say that you should only read this with your mind and never out loud. If you were to read it out loud, then you must take responsibility for your actions. Tomino's Hell is written by Yamota Inuhiko in a book called The Heart is Like a Rolling Stone, and was included in Saizo Yasuo's 27th collection of poems in 1919. He's not sure how this rumor started, but there's only a warning that, if you read this poem out loud, tragic things will happen. It looks like a curse. It asks to not compare this with other common poems like "You'll Grow Taller" or even "My Parents Died." Do you get a sense of how dangerous this is? This story used to be very popular in the Japanese 2CH website, where there are many people taking pictures and videos as proof and posting them on 2CH. There were many users that said that nothing happened, but there were many posts that didn't have the user come back to post the results. I think it's scarier than someone posting that someone else got sick or that someone else passed away. But if you were to read it out loud, it's better to read it in Japanese rather than a translation. It goes, Tomino's Hell. His older sister vomited blood, his younger sister vomited fire, and the cute Tomino vomited glass beads. Tomino fell into hell alone. Hell is wrapped in darkness, and even the flowers don't bloom. Is the person with the whip Tomino's older sister? I wonder whose blood is on it. Hit, without hitting. Infinite hell's one road. Would you lead him to the dark hell? To the sheep of gold? To the bush warbler? Fit as much as you can onto the leather sack for preparation of the journey in the familiar hell. Spring is coming, even in the forest and the streams. even in the 7 valley streams of the dark hell. The bush warbler in the birdcage, the sheep in the wagon, tears in the eyes of cute Tomino. Cry, bush warbler, toward the raining forest. He shouts that he misses his little sister. The crying echo reverberates throughout hell. The fox pinoy blooms, circling around hell's 7 mountains and 7 streams. The lonely journey of cute Tomino. If they're in hell, bring them to me. The needle of the graves. I won't pierce with the red needle in the milestones of little Tomino. Located in a little wooden box on display in the Manenji Temple in the town of Iwamizawa, Hokkaido, Japan, stands a small 40cm doll which takes pride of place as part of a shrine. This doll is no ordinary doll, as every year its hair needs to be trimmed as it grows. The hair is allowed to grow till it hits knee length on the doll, then is trimmed back to just below the shoulder length. The hair has been growing for at least the past 75 years, and it is from this that the shrine has become famous. The doll was bought in Sapporo by a 17-year-old Akichi Suzuki in 1918 for his 2-year-old sister Okiku. He was visiting the area for a marine exhibit, but upon seeing the doll in a shop window, he knew at once that the doll needed to be bought and given to his sister. The doll stood about 40 centimeters tall and was dressed in a traditional kimono. The hair was black and cut to about shoulder length in a traditional style, and the eyes were piercing, like black beads pressed into the lifelike flesh of the face. When Akichi returned home, he presented the doll to his little sister, who fell in love with it immediately. The doll became Okiku's favorite toy and, it would seem, best friend. Okiku played with the doll every day and soon gave it the same name as herself, Okiku. The doll would never be out of Okiku's sight. Unfortunately, in 1919, Okiku passed away after a severe fever. She was only 3 years old. The doll was to be buried along with Okiku, but due to some unforeseen circumstance, the doll was never placed with Okiku in a final resting place. Okiku, the doll, was instead placed in the family's altar, in commemoration of their daughter. Sometime thereafter, the Suzukis noticed that the doll's hair was getting longer. It once had a traditional shoulder-length cut, with neat ends, but now the doll had hair receding down towards the waist, and the ends were not random in length. The family believed the spirit/soul of their daughter inhabited the doll. In 1938, the family moved away, but not wanting to take Okiku with them, possibly out of fear that the magic of the doll was due to the proximity with their daughter's resting place, they instead took it to the Manenji Temple. Here, they informed the priest of the doll's hair, and the priest, over time, could confirm that the story was true. The hair did indeed grow. Periodically, the hair would get a trim, and soon photos of the doll with different hair lengths began to adorn the small shrine, dedicated to the Okiku the doll and Okiku the girl's memory. It has been said that upon analysis of a cut sample from the hair, that it does indeed belong to that of a child. Hitori Kakurenbo is a famous game in Japan and Korea, originating from Japan, where you let a spirit or demon possess a doll and then play a game of hide and seek with them. The game is necromancy and is potentially very dangerous, and it is not good for your sanity. Do not try this game because you're curious or want to experience it for yourself. This is a very dangerous, life-risking game. Note, it's best to put your pets outside of your house. There have been reports of dogs barking and cats hissing at nothing. Some even reported their pets behaving strangely after the game. You will need a stuffed doll with limbs, not a human doll, as there's an increased chance the spirit will not leave it. If you have an animal doll with limbs, it can be used. For example, a teddy bear. Rice. Enough rice to be used as stuffing instead of cotton for your doll. The rice is said to attract the spirit. Something from your body. Usually fingernails for the doll to represent you. This means that if you do something to the doll, the same will happen to yourself. Never use someone else's body parts. This results in the doll replacing that person instead, and the game will not work properly. A sharp-edged object. This is to anger the spirit in the doll by stabbing it. Be sure not to use a knife or scissors, as the doll will possibly stab you with it after it finds you. So use a pencil or needle instead. It is recommended to use a wooden toothpick. Red thread. This is to sew up the hole you made in the doll. This later symbolizes blood vessels and acts as a restraint later in the game. Salt water or salt. This will be used later in the game to get rid of the spirit in the doll. A bathtub with water. If your home does not have a bathtub, a basin large enough to put the doll in with water in the bathroom works too. A very safe sanctuary/hiding spot. When it's the doll's turn to find you, if you have a room with statues and things related to your religion, it is recommended to make it as your hiding spot. Starting the ritual. Give your stuffed doll a name, for example, Fluffy or Rover. In this tutorial, I will use the name Evan. Cut the bear or doll open and take out all its stuffing. Put the rice in the bear/doll, as well as the part of your body. Sew the doll back again with red thread and wrap the remaining red string around the whole body. This is important as it binds the spirit. Prepare the bath or large basin by filling it with water and then wait until 3 AM sharp. Though some versions say that you do not have to wait until 3 AM, but this is up to you. Remember to turn off all lights in the house, but leave only the television on. It will change depending on the location of the doll. Once it is 3 AM, take the doll along with you to the bathroom and repeat. The first tagger is, and then say your name. Say this 3 times sternly while closing your eyes. Then, place the doll in the bath or basin. Walk away to another room, but do not look back. You may see the spirit possessing the doll. If said spirit makes eye contact or notices you looking at it, it may come after you. Count slowly from 1 to 10. After that, turn around and proceed back to the doll. Go close to the doll in the bath or basin and say, "I found you, Evan," and then stab the doll with your weapon or object. After that, close your eyes and repeat, "Now Evan is it," 3 times. Leave the object inside the doll, then pour some salt water into your mouth. Do not drink the salt water, as it protects you from the spirit in the doll, and you will need the remaining salt water to end the ritual. Bring along the cup of salt water and go to your hiding place. It is recommended to keep your doors and windows unlocked in case you unexpectedly run into some trouble, and your friends will be able to help you if they are outside your home. It is recommended to have a cell phone on silent mode and brightness on the lowest level in case of emergencies. Keep the salt water in your mouth at all times. Never attempt to swallow it. Remain silent when you are hiding, as any sounds from you will alert the doll where you are. If the doll finds you, it will stab you with the object you stabbed it with, then possibly possess you as well. Keep salt water near at all times. Ending the ritual. Ending the ritual is very important as this will end the game as well. To end the ritual, get out of your hiding spot, find the doll, it may not be in the bathroom, and then drink the salt water. Pour the remaining salt water around the doll in a circle as well. Close your eyes and shout, "I win," 3 times. The spirit in the doll will give up and the game ends. You must dispose of the doll by burying it with salt, otherwise the spirit will attempt to re-enter the doll. Some versions say to put salt in every corner of your house after you bury the doll, especially where the doll has been found, as salt drives away most malevolent spirits. Warnings: do not play this game for more than 2 hours. The spirit inside the doll will be extremely difficult to remove. Messing around with spirits is very dangerous, so play the game at your own risk. Nobody will be responsible for your own death as you risk your life to play the game. Do not turn around when heading to your hiding place. You might see something very disturbing. Do not play when someone else is in the house. You must be alone to play the game, because the other person might be unintentionally found instead and might be hurt. Do not play the game with more than one person. It needs to be with one person and one person only, because there's a great chance that one of the people that are playing could get possessed. The game can be played at 3 AM sharp. Do not turn on the lights while playing this game. Only leave your television on. Do not fall asleep, no matter how tired, exhausted, or sleepy you are while hiding. The doll will eventually find you and possess your body, as the meaning of this play is, if you find me, you can have my body. Do not attempt to leave the house while the game is still going on. Unless you want to end the ritual and the doll is not in the house, the doll will find you. Do not play this game if you get frightened easily or have a very weak heart. This game is life-threatening and very terrifying to most people who have played it. Better still, don't play this game at all. Do not give the doll your name or the name of one of your acquaintances. You or your acquaintance may be the victim of a curse. Messing around with rituals like this is dangerous. They are serious rituals, not games. If you make a single mistake, then expect to meet a nasty end. You have been warned. There is an urban legend where, if you hear this story, you might end up having this sequence of dreams within 3 days. Each dream is specific and has a specific rule to follow to progress each dream. On the first night, you will dream that you are sleeping in your room. Then, you will notice a girl peeping through the window. In your dream, you must let the girl in. The second night, the girl is inside your room. She's looking downward, and you cannot see her face because of her long hair. She is muttering something. After a while, you realize she's saying, "Please, please." You have to let her come into the bed and lie down next to you. The third night, you and the girl are laying side by side. You are now able to see the girl's face. Her face is horribly burnt. Make sure you do not cry out when you see her face. On the fourth night, you get out of bed. The girl says, "Let's go to the park." Make sure you take the girl to the nearest park without saying a word. On the fifth night, when you arrive at the park, you will notice someone pushing a stroller. Look closely and you will notice that the mother is a cat and the baby is a dog. In this dream, you must kill either one of them. The sixth night, when you're playing with a girl in the park, you will see an airship about to take off. Make sure you get on the airship in time. On the seventh night, the airship is full of people who, just like you, have heard this story. Once inside, find a seat for yourself at any cost. The eighth night, after some time, red roses and black roses start raining down you. Throughout this dream, throw out only the black roses from the airship. On the 9th night, the airship takes you back down to the park. Once there, go home with the girl and lie down in the bed again. You will not know what happens on the 10th day unless you have observed all the rules from the previous days. However, one last thing is that you should tell this story to someone while you are awake. Otherwise, you will go back to the first day of the dream forever.